So we had some questions. I don't even remember exactly what the questions were, but there were some questions that led me to think we need to have this conversation about the relativity of different diets. Why people get certain results. This is so confusing for so many people, right? Because there's a million opinions out there about what an optimal diet looks like. And there's so many people. I mean, I had someone yesterday tell me that, she tried fasting, but this other system where they drink pasteurized fruit juices and they take charcoal and psyllium, and that this is much more powerful than fasting. Like, there's not a chance in the world that's more powerful than fasting, because your body doesn't go through all of the benefits of being in fasting physiology. The fact that autophagy happens at a much faster rate, et cetera, et cetera. So why does she believe this? Because she's had results and she's interpreting them a certain way, okay? And probably has never done a properly conducted water fast. There is nothing more powerful than getting out of your body's way. But we're not talking about fasting today. What I want to talk about is why people have different results with different diets, okay? So let's start with this. Who can tell me what that is?
Horizontal line.
The timeline.
No, it's not horizontal.
Come on. A horizontal line. Come on, this is obvious. What is this? This should be obvious. What is it?
It's a line.
It's a Maserati.
I'm really disappointed. This is the continuum of all possible diet choices. You can look at it now. Look at it again. You can see that now, right? It's obvious, isn't it? Okay. All right. So let's put a couple of points on here, theoretical points at least. We're going to call this one MSMD. And we're going to call this one ORVD. Okay, and again, I'm sure that's obvious what those things mean, right? That's obvious enough, isn't it? This point over here, how many of you saw Super Size Me? Anyone see a documentary that was, what, 20 so years ago?
Yeah.
So if you recall, if you didn't see it, Morgan Spurlock, an American, decided to do a documentary where he ate only McDonald's for 30 days. It was called Super Size Me. Back then, the policy was if you went into a McDonald's and ordered something, they were supposed to ask you if you want to supersize that. And then you get the biggest version of everything. It was like the 10-pound hamburger and the 40-gallon French fries. Anyway, so, and his deal was he was going to eat only McDonald's for 30 days, 3 times a day. And if they asked him to supersize, he had to say yes. They didn't always ask. They didn't always remember to ask. But if they asked, he had to say yes. And so before he started, he went to a doctor, a nutritionist, I think a exercise physiologist, and maybe one other expert. I don't recall. It's been like 20 years. And he said to them all, what do you think about this? And they all said things like, you'll be fine, no big deal. Your triglycerides will go up a little bit, your cholesterol will go up a little bit, but nothing to worry about. 2 weeks later, and he went every week to see these people as he progressed through the process. 2 weeks later, they were begging him to stop so he didn't die after 2 weeks of nothing but McDonald's. Okay? So, that may not be the best diet. This right here, this is the Morgan Spurlock Memorial Diet. Okay? MSMD. This is McDonald's 3 times a day. We're going to say that theoretically maybe the worst you could do. All right? Over here on the other end, we have the optimal raw vegan diet. The optimal raw vegan diet. You can't just say raw vegan diet, right? I have a client, a good friend. He's been here, I think, 6 times now, something like that, over the years. He's fasted with me in 3 or 4 different locations. The last time he came back, I said to him, are you not still raw? He said, I'm still raw vegan. He said, but been super busy, and I'm living on raw vegan junk food. He lives here in Silicon Valley, California. The Whole Foods there has a whole aisle of processed raw vegan food. Cookies, crackers, chips, chocolate, brownies, all kinds of stuff. All raw, but convenience food. It's processed food. processed food is crap. Crap is the right answer. It's crap, okay? Processed food is crap. It doesn't matter if it's raw vegan. It doesn't matter if it's organic. You know, the first time I was in Denmark, a client there who had invited me, a alternative practitioner who had organized events for me there, told me very proudly that Denmark consumed the highest amount of organic food per capita, right? And then she said, but that's because we have organic potato chips and organic pretzels and organic candy and organic cookies, all kinds of organic, everything's organic.
Machines.
It's crap. It's all crap. You know, that stuff doesn't really count. So there is an optimal raw vegan diet. You guys here with me probably at least know what I think it is. You may or may not agree with me. Now, between those 2 points, right, how many points are there? How many possible diets are there on this continuum? 1,000?
Infinite.
Million.
Yeah, it's infinite. There's an infinite number of points on a line. There's an infinite number of possibilities. There's little tiny changes you could make. And so I think it's really important to understand how this works, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So let's look at a situation. How many of you know what a macrobiotic diet is? I'm going to put that down for a minute. Macrobiotic, can you talk about that? What is that?
Well, I can only talk a little bit. It's just a low temperature cooking diet of organic.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
You know, I don't remember temperatures, but I dated a macrobiotic chef many years ago, and
And
30
combinations.
years ago. She actually worked for the Princess of Saudi Arabia, and the princess and her whole entourage were like 25 people in their castle eating a macrobiotic diet. And she would work all day long. There were things that would literally cook from morning until late afternoon, like cooked all day. And now, yesterday, another client of mine, I talked about this came up, I think, in a live, and she said, no, I was a macrobiotic chef, we didn't cook all day. But I watched this happen several times. She was cooking all day. Maybe that's not always the case. But the food is all cooked. They strongly discourage eating any fresh food. No fresh fruit. Fruits are cooked. No salad. Everything's cooked. Everything's cooked. And it's ironic because there have been many times where I've said to someone, I'm a raw vegan, and they'll say, oh, that's like macrobiotics. I'm like, well, it's like 180 degrees from macrobiotics. Macrobiotics is all cooked. This is all raw. Now, how's it similar, right? Macrobiotics is not vegan. There are some animal products involved. It's mostly vegan. Now, it came to the U.S., was brought to the U.S. in the 70s by a Japanese man named Michio Kushi. And there's the Kushi Institute in Massachusetts, where they treat people. Kushi, by the way, came down with cancer, but he did smoke. Apparently, a macrobiotic diet does not save you from cancer if you smoke. Not that any diet probably would. So, macrobiotic diet, it's all cooked. You know, in fact, when I started dating this woman, Gina, I met a lot of her friends, and she had a lot of friends that ate a macrobiotic diet. And the food that she was cooking all day, I noticed all the food was gray. You know, cooking hours and hours, it was all gray by the time it was done cooking. You could tell what it was by the shape of it. If it was like skinny and long, it was this, and if it was, you know, you could tell, that's how you could tell what it was. I noticed the people who've been eating this way for a long time, a lot of those people, they were gray too. Like their skin was gray. They didn't have any color in their cheeks. And, you know, if you think about something Einstein said years ago, he said, energy can neither be created nor destroyed, just change form. How do we create living cells, new cells every day? Millions and millions of them. Remember, 2 million blood cells are taken out of circulation every minute, hopefully to be replaced. You know, we're talking probably trillions of cells replaced every day. How are those cells going to be, where's the energy for those cells going to come from? From food that's been cooked until it has no color, right? That's not going to happen. So, you know, I would say not probably the healthiest diet in the world. If I had to guess, I would say that a macrobiotic diet on this continuum might belong somewhere in here, okay? See if I can do this sideways. Macro, right? So there's a macrobiotic diet, right? Considerably better than the worst possible diet, the Morgan Spurlock diet, much better than that, okay? let's do one more thing. A lot of people go to a macrobiotic diet and because they're sick. They've got cancer, they've got heart disease, they've got arthritis, whatever they have, and they adopt a macrobiotic diet, and many people get healthier. And they think they have found the Holy Grail. And they say things like, the macrobiotic diet, help me out here, fill in the blank, what did it do? Okay, let's one word, it
Changed my life.
Healed.
It healed me. They'll say the macrobiotic diet healed me. That's what they think, right? That's not what happened, okay? You guys know that because I always forget this again. Tell me, what heals the human body? The body heals the body. No diet heals the body heals itself. So the macrobiotic diet didn't heal anyone, but here's what's often happening. If we look, let's look down here. If we look down here, what we'll see is the SAD diet. Okay? The SAD diet is down there, right? What is that? That's a standard American diet, or the standard Anglo diet. Okay? That was an A. It's a sideways A. And I never learned how to write, so trust me, it's an A. It's about as A as I'm going to get. That's an A. So the standard American diet it's better than nothing but McDonald's, but it's not really that much better. It's, McDonald's is like 100% processed crap, right?
You get some lettuce leaves.
That's true. That's true. It's funny. The comment was you get some lettuce leaves. Well,
They usually take them out.
the first time I heard Michael, the nutritionfacts.org guy, first time I heard him live, we met, and he was talking about a study this was probably 18, 19 years ago. That year there was a study performed in the US that said the average American will be much healthier if they doubled their intake of leafy greens. But here was the funny thing about that. What that meant for the average American was going from 1 piece of lettuce per day to 2. Okay? That 1 piece of lettuce on their hamburger. Because that's all there is 1 piece of lettuce on that McDonald's hamburger. So the standard American diet, this is almost 100, this is like 99% processed crap. The standard American diet today is over 61% processed crap and 35% animal products, and that leaves about 4% stuff that actually grows in the ground. It's pretty bad, okay? And so if someone's consuming that diet, the standard American diet, and they go from that to a macrobiotic diet, they get healthier. It's not because the macrobiotic diet healed them. It's because our amazing bodies in every single moment of our lives are doing everything they can to cleanse and heal themselves. And so let's say you're one of those people who's been getting 5 hours of sleep every night. If you start sleeping 6 hours every night, not that that's enough, but it's better, you should get healthier, okay? If up until now you've done 1 push-up per year and you start doing 2 push-ups per year, you should get a little healthier, okay? If you've been drinking, 1 glass of water every month and you start drinking 2, you should see a little bit of an improvement in your health, okay? Because anytime we do a better job of meeting any of our body's needs, we should see an improvement in our health. So it's critically important to understand this, because when someone goes from a standard American diet to the macrobiotic diet, they're going to get healthier, not because the macrobiotic diet is the best diet in the world, definitely not because the macrobiotic diet healed them, but simply because the macrobiotic diet removes most of the processed garbage. And so you're getting less crap, your body has a better chance to heal. The same thing is true. People say that juice feasting healed them. Does it heal anyone? No, the body heals itself. But if you've been eating a standard American diet and start drinking only fresh juices, of course you're going to be healthier. You've eliminated most of the garbage from your diet. It doesn't have to be optimal, it just has to be better than it was before. Okay, does this make sense to everyone? It's so important to understand this, because this is why Pete, like McDougall, right? John McDougall, MD from the US, tells people that we should eat primarily starches, grains and potatoes and bread and things like these. These are the healthiest foods, along with beans, pulses, some fresh vegetables, and some fruit. Small amount of fruit because of the sugar, right? This is what, and people get healthier doing that. Is that the optimal diet? He would have you believe it is. I would say it's not even close to the optimal diet. But it's a lot better than what most people were doing before they adopted his diet. Okay? And so they're going to see improvements. Does this make sense to everyone? Understanding this, now you can see why when someone says, well, I did this and it made me healthier. Okay, it's an improvement. That's great. Okay, that doesn't mean it's as good as it's going to get, right? In fact, my guess is if we were to look at all the diets on here, which would be impossible because there's an infinite number, but let's say we look at all the diets in the top 25%, this part of the scale. See if I can do a 2 upside down. Probably not. So this top 25%, I would say all of the diets from this point on probably give the body everything that the body needs. All of these diets do. A lot of people seem to think all you have to do is add in the important stuff. Like you can eat whatever you're eating, just drink some fresh juices, have a green smoothie, eat some supplements, eat some superfoods. Now you're adding in all those important things that you need to be healthy, and that's going to make you okay. Is that going to work? What do you think? No, of course not, because it's not simply about what's included, right? It should also be about what's not included. So what is it that if all of these diets, from this point up to here, if all those diets, the top 25%, contain everything that the body needs, what makes the best diet better than the next best diet? Anyone?
Closer to fruit.
Well, without even knowing what goes in there, what can we know about what's different about them? Without even figuring out what they include yet. In fact, this continuum, theoretically, not McDonald's, but the fact that there's a continuum, this should work for any species.
Eating less of the foods that aren't optimal.
Exactly. The second best diet, so the second best diet contains everything we need, just like the best diet does. But the second best diet also contains things that the body does not want. It's not that it has everything we need, it also has things that are harmful to us. The very best diet is the diet that gives the body everything it needs without including anything that's harmful to us. That's what differentiates the best diet from every other diet. So there's literally an infinite number of possibilities. People, every day people say to me, well, can I do this? Can I do that? You can do. My response is, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Is your goal to optimize? Because if it is, if you want to feel and function as well as you possibly can, at the highest level of health, how many points on this continuum can your diet occupy? If you want to feel and function as well as is possible for your body, how many points, where could your diet be? Could it be anywhere? Where could it be?
Right half?
It will, the right half? If you want to feel and function optimally?
Well, you have to fast.
Okay,
Just
let's,
right.
Right before that.
it would have to be the best diet.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
If you want to do optimally well, your diet has to be the optimal diet because anything else is including things that are actually harmful to you. And that means you won't do as well as you could. Now, let's get real, okay? Not too many people, not too many people are willing to eat optimally all the time. This becomes a surprise to people sometimes. I remember once, I had just taught, so the second oldest raw vegan restaurant in the U.S. is in Beverly, Massachusetts. One of my sisters happens to live in that town. I've spoken there a dozen times. About 5-6 years ago, I think, I did a full day seminar. The restaurant's very small, And so what Rob, the owner, would do is he would rent a space across the street. There was an Italian restaurant across the street that had lots of different rooms, a big restaurant. And he would rent a space there, depending on how many people we were gonna have. And we would do a seminar there, and we right across the street. So I taught this full-day seminar at this Italian restaurant across the street from the raw vegan place in Beverly. And at the end of the restaurant, I had a friend who couldn't make it to the seminar. But she said, I said, why don't you come up and have dinner with me at the raw vegan restaurant, right? I don't think she'd ever had a raw vegan meal before. So she met me there, and as, we all walked across the street together. People were parked by the restaurant, and most of the group walked across the street, and she and I went inside the restaurant and sat down to have dinner. And one of the people who just come out of my course, where I'm talking about what's optimal, right, comes over and says, "You're gonna eat this food?" I'm like, "Yeah. I eat close to perfectly 360 days a year. 5 times a year, maybe 10 times a year, I'll have a raw vegan restaurant meal. And I'll enjoy it." And I mean, Rob, who has brought me in a dozen times over the last 15 or 20 years, I'm in town. In fact, if I'm not doing an event with him, if I'm in town, I'm going to stop in, I'm going to buy, I want to support him.
Yeah.
He's helped support me, I want to support him. And I enjoy the experience, okay? I know it's not optimal. And so I'm making an intelligent, educated decision about how much of a compromise I'm willing to make. I'm not going to McDonald's, okay? I don't care if my best friend's running, my brother's running to McDonald's. I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to do that, okay? I'm not putting that stuff in my body. But this is different. That's where I draw the line, okay? And there might be things on the menu that I'll eat and things I won't eat. But each of you can make your own decision, okay? Just understand, I understand that because I'm doing that, what it means is I'm not going to feel and function quite as well as I would otherwise. Now, the difference is that for me, that might impact me for one day. In fact, it might not even be a whole day, okay? Someone else, I think I told you about taking my last girlfriend to her first raw vegan restaurant and having it take her a week to get back on her feet after that. Literally, took her a week. In the last couple of years, I've done 2 roughly 4-week lecture tours in Israel that she's arranged. And this last time around, back in November, December, I was there for 3 weeks or so. We had 4 or 5 events that included dinner, that included some prepared gourmet type raw food. She wouldn't eat any of it. I do. I'm there, I'm participating, I'm gonna enjoy it and enjoy the meal and have fun and have a small hangover the next day. She's learned she doesn't go there anymore. She doesn't go there. What she would do is she would say, "Can you just make me a simple salad, please?"
Yeah.
And that's what she would eat. Okay? There might be someone here that finds out that's what's going to work better for you too. Okay? It just depends. But you want to be really, really clear about this. So, when people go to juices or people go to green smoothies or people go to some new thing that hasn't been invented yet, it shows up next week, that's some crazy concoction of whatever. If it's better than what that person was doing before, they should see some improvement in their health. Be clear that in no way suggests that they found what's optimal. It only means it's better than what they were doing before.
The moment I turned and saw you was the moment I said I'm sorry, 'cause I know that I hadn't been honest with you. I'm not in a hurry, so don't give up on me now, don't worry. I just want to be close to